Let's talk about 5 things you can do right now to help you start and grow a successful bookkeeping business. I'm going to be talking about things like picking a name and branding, how to actually get paid, creating a clear value proposition, and a couple other things. Make sure you stick out to the end of this video. I promise you, this is going to deliver so much value if you're trying to start and grow your own bookkeeping business. My name is Zach Pasquarello. I have my own bookkeeping business, been doing it for 4 years. Now I make these videos simply because I love talking about my own business and I love teaching other people some tips and tricks and also the mistakes that I made 4 years ago. That way you can learn from my mistakes and hopefully fast track to success. I don't want to waste any time. Let's jump right into it. Number 1, pick a name and branding. I would recommend start with a professional picture. I actually used an iPhone in the very beginning. I set up a background in my house. I made sure the lighting was right, and I just had my wife take a picture of my face with my iPhone. I'm actually using an iPhone to record this video right now. If you're balling on a budget like I was 4 years ago, you don't necessarily need to hire a professional to take a professional picture of you if you're just getting started. But I do recommend do your hair, put on a nice t-shirt or a suit, doesn't really matter. Make sure you look nice, maybe shave your face, put on some makeup, whatever you do to get ready in the morning, and get a professional picture. Not too much noise in the background, maybe a solid background, maybe a nice setup framed background in your house or outside, whatever that looks like for you. It doesn't really matter. I just recommend don't use the picture of you at the bar with your buddies drinking beer and smoking a cigarette. Not that there's anything wrong with doing that stuff in your free time, but now we are a business owner. You want to have a professional picture for your website, for your social media, for your email, for whatever you might have. Make sure you have a professional picture, and you don't necessarily need to spend a lot of money. You can use the clothes you have right now. You can use your iPhone and you can set it up. If you want, you could pay for a professional headshot, probably going to cost about $100. You don't need to, but it's probably going to turn out significantly better than it would if you just did it on your own. If you go to my Facebook and if you look at my profile picture, the one I have of me in a suit from 4 years ago, that was taken on my iPhone. The new one I have of me in just a black t-shirt, that was actually taken at a networking event. So I got the headshot for free. And a lot of networking events do have a photographer there where they will take your headshot. So if you don't want to spend the $100, maybe try to find a networking event that you can go to that's offering free headshots. So check out my Facebook. My name's Zach Pasquarello, and check out my profile pictures. The first one, iPhone. Second one, professional photographer. Let me know in the comments or comment on my Facebook picture. Let me know which one you think looks better. So for your name, so that's the professional picture. So for name and branding, you need a good picture, and then you need a name for your business. This is like one of the first things people probably think about. What I want to tell you, let me give you some words of encouragement. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your name is. It does matter though. I would say a couple things. Try to think of something that's easy to search. So for me, my website and my name is Harrisburg Bookkeeping. That's a pretty long name, and that's kind of difficult to type. A lot of people don't know how to spell Harrisburg. A lot of people don't know how to spell bookkeeping. So to go to harrisburgbookkeeping.com is pretty difficult. To email me, zach@harrisburgbookkeeping.com, that's pretty difficult. So if I could go back in time, I would definitely make my domain, my website, a lot shorter. Maybe hbgbkp.com, like Harrisburg Bookkeeping kind of abbreviated, but it doesn't matter what your name is. It could be Zach Pasquarello LLC or Pasquarello Accounting, Harrisburg Bookkeeping. I really don't think it matters. It might matter a little bit for SEO. I don't know much about SEO, but if somebody goes into Google and types in like a bookkeeper in Harrisburg, maybe it would help that my name is Harrisburg Bookkeeping. I do think it helps to have a clear name. Like my name is so crystal clear. It's very clear what I do and where I am. Like, what's your business? Harrisburg Bookkeeping. Very obvious what I do in my business based on my name. But I don't think it matters. I wouldn't get too hung up on this. Pick a name and just roll with it. Don't spend weeks and weeks and weeks. Don't let this delay you from starting your business. Come up with a name, stick to it, and focus on everything else that you have to do. That's number one. Pick a name and branding. Pretty short, pretty sweet, pretty easy. Number two, how to get paid. How do you actually get paid as a business owner? And this is applicable to somebody starting a bookkeeping business, but also any other business. Obviously, you can accept cash and checks. Pretty obvious. However, I don't like accepting checks. I actually have it written on my invoices, literally, please don't mail checks. I don't like waiting for checks to come in the mail. So instead, I have a payment processor. I use Stripe sometimes, and I use QuickBooks. Stripe integrates really well with websites and scheduling. So if you go to my website to schedule a meeting with me, or if you buy something from my website, or if you buy my bookkeeping course, all of that gets processed through Stripe. Stripe is great for online sales, but I use QuickBooks Online for everything else as my payment processor. So you can set up QuickBooks Online, totally free to set it up, but they charge you per transaction. Right now, it's definitely 3% for cards, and then it's 1% for ACH transfers. So if your customers want to pay you with a debit card or a credit card, QuickBooks, or pretty much any other payment processor, will charge you 3%. If they want to pay you with a bank transfer, QuickBooks will charge you 1%, but it maxes out at $10 or $15. So if you're charging somebody $5,000, QuickBooks will not charge you 1%. They'll just charge you $10 or $15 to process that $5,000 ACH transfer. The other thing that I did just this year, pretty recently, I've been talking about it more. I started setting up ACH origination. So now my customers don't pay me. I pull my payment from their bank account. So it's part of my new client agreement. It's the last page, and they give me their banking information, and they authorize me to pull their monthly fee without them having to pay the invoice. This is super simple. I'm guaranteed to get paid. As long as they have money in their bank, I'm guaranteed to get paid every month. I wish I would have set this up sooner. I did have to get approved by my bank to set up ACH origination, but I definitely recommend, if you're thinking about starting and growing your own bookkeeping business, talk to your bank, see if you can get ACH origination set up. Let me take a quick coffee break. Tracking accounts receivable. Tracking accounts receivable. So this is not necessarily how to get paid, but still really important. And you might not think it's a big deal in the beginning. You might only have 5 or 10 clients, not a huge deal. But as your business grows, make sure you have a tight control on tracking accounts receivable, because very quickly it can get confusing, especially if you have a lot of customers paying you the same amount every month. It gets very confusing. If 10 people are paying you $500 every month, it can kind of get lost. Like, was this $500 for Billy Bob or for Jane Doe? It's kind of hard to tell. So make sure you use probably QuickBooks to very accurately track your accounts receivable. Send your invoices to your customers on the first day of every month, and then make sure you're closing the invoices as they get paid. And then follow up. If my customers don't pay in the first 5 days, I'm sending a reminder. And if they don't pay after 10 days, I might call them and say, hey, what's going on? Everything okay? Your invoice was due 10 days ago. Can you please pay that today? It's just business. It's not personal. You are providing a service. Your customers are expected to pay. If they don't pay, then something is wrong. They need to pay you. There's no excuse for customers paying you late. Absolutely no excuse. How are you going to structure your payment schedule? Are you going to get paid hourly, or are you going to get paid a fixed monthly rate? If you're paid hourly, remember, you might have to submit a timesheet, and that can get to be a pretty tedious administrative task for your business internally. So if you're submitting your time, then make sure you have software to track your time. I use Clockify to track my time. Sometimes, very rarely, do I have clients who pay me hourly, but for the ones that do, I use Clockify. I think it's free for like the basic subscription, might cost a little bit more, but I try to stay away from tracking my time and getting paid hourly, but instead I get paid a fixed monthly rate. and I talk about this all the time, but I'll mention it briefly now. The way I get paid, the way I quote my customers, $3 per transaction for their average number of monthly transactions. So count up all their transactions from the past 6 months, divide that number by 6. That's their average number of monthly transactions. And then multiply that number by $3 per transaction. That's your fixed monthly rate. I get paid up front. So if I'm doing your bookkeeping, let's say, perfect example, it's November 6th, 2024 right now. If you were a business owner and you called me and you said, hey, I need bookkeeping for all of 2024, I will give you a quote and I will charge you 11 months of bookkeeping. I get paid up front. I don't get paid 50% now, 50% then. I don't want to deal with that. I get paid 100% up front. So if I'm charging you $500 per month, then I'll send you an invoice for 11 times $500. And that'll cover your bookkeeping from January through November. And I'm not getting started until you pay that invoice. And then for December 1st, I'll set you up for automatic billing. And then you'll pay your December invoice December 1st. So I'm getting paid up front for December work. I'm not going to bill you January 1st for work I did in December. I don't want to deal with that. I'm going to get paid up front just in case for whatever reason you don't pay me. I'm not out too much unpaid work. So I get paid up front and I don't do any work before. So if you need any help with starting your own bookkeeping business, side note, I developed a ton of resources just for you. They're all linked in the description of this video. Strongly recommend. Check out all the resources I have for you. Hopefully it helps you. Hopefully it goes above and beyond just these free YouTube videos. That's all I had to say about that. Number 3, create a clear value proposition. Create a clear value proposition. What are you going to do for business owners? Why should they pay you? I'm a huge fan. Keep things simple. So I have a niche, and I have a niche in the service that I provide. I like to keep things simple. And I also like to be an expert in my field. I think the best way for you to be an expert is for you to be very specific in the things that you do. Do the same thing over and over again. Don't try to do too many things at once. Otherwise, you're going to quickly find yourself overwhelmed, stressed out, and underqualified to do a bunch of little things. But instead, focus on one thing. And that, for me, is bookkeeping. If you're watching this video, chances are that's probably going to be a good service niche for you as well. And I like to be very clear. I see a lot of Facebook profiles or a lot of websites where people describe themselves as a financial coach. And I have no idea what that means. I don't know if you're a financial coach or not, but I'm not a financial coach. I don't necessarily know what that means. To me, that kind of makes me think of Dave Ramsey and how he helps people get out of debt. That's just a very specific example of a job title or a job description that is very unclear. A financial coach. Are you offering fractional CFO services? Are you offering tax strategy or bookkeeping or debt consolidation or credit repair? I have no idea what financial coach means. So I try to be so super specific. I tell people I'm not shy about what I do. I do bookkeeping. I'm very upfront, very straightforward, total transparency. I want you to know exactly what I do because there's tons of people who need our services. So I want those people to know that I'm a bookkeeper and I can help you. I tell people I can help you with your QuickBooks. Everybody has QuickBooks. Everybody knows what QuickBooks is. Everybody needs help with their QuickBooks. There's 3 different types of people, business owners. There's business owners who do their own bookkeeping in QuickBooks. There's business owners who have somebody internally, like an office manager, do their own bookkeeping in QuickBooks. And there's a third type of person who outsources their bookkeeping to somebody like us. All 3 of those people need their bookkeeping to be completed. It's just a matter of who is going to do it. If it's the business owner or the office manager or an outsourced bookkeeper like me, it doesn't matter who does it, but everybody needs their bookkeeping done. And so I'm just very upfront. Like, I'm a bookkeeper. Let me know if you ever need help with your QuickBooks. And if you're a bookkeeper, understand your tasks. Understand what that means to be a bookkeeper. For me, I do 3 things. I categorize transactions, reconcile accounts, and generate financial reports. It's important to clearly communicate what you do to other people, because there are so many people who need your services. At the same time, it's also really important to clearly communicate to people who don't need your services, because there are a ton of people out there who think they need to hire an accountant, but they don't really understand what they need. Perfect example. I had a phone call today. Somebody needs help, and they told me, like, I'm a mess. I need so much help. I need help going back. I need help going forward. I need so much help. So at first, if I was new, I would say, oh, this is great. This might be a 2-year cleanup project. This might turn into a $5,000 or $10,000 payday. This is awesome. But as we started talking more, they started telling about how they need to amend their taxes for 2022. They need to figure out what they can do so that they don't pay so much in taxes. And so I told this person very clearly, I don't do tax strategy. I simply record. I told them what I do. I told them the 3 things I do. And I said, if you need help with those 3 things, generating financial reports, I'm your guy. I'm a bookkeeping expert. I'm a QuickBooks expert. I can absolutely help you with those 3 things. But if you need to amend your taxes, file your taxes, if you need tax strategy, I'm not your guy. I can't help with that. I don't help with that. Maybe I could, certainly could, but it's not my specialty. So I'm not going to spend time learning how to do that. There are CPAs who literally just specialize in tax strategy for small business owners. And that's not me. I don't do that. And that's okay. You don't need to do that to make more money. I promise you. You don't need to offer more services to make more money. You just need to offer the same service to more people. That's how you're going to make more money. Become really good, really efficient at one thing and do it for a lot of people, and you will make more money. I promise you. Okay, number 4, set up a professional online presence. This kind of goes hand in hand with branding, but I'm going to talk a little bit more generally. Website, social media, Google My Business. So for a website, you can do it yourself on Squarespace. Now, I'm not being paid by Squarespace. I'm not an affiliate of Squarespace. I'm not sponsored to say this, but I just personally use Squarespace. So I really like their platform. I really like their templates. Super easy to use, easy to integrate scheduling and calendar links and Stripe payments and an online store. Really easy to use Squarespace, and it's pretty affordable. I think I pay like $20 per month. So there's a few things that go into having a website. Like, you need your actual domain, and then you need to connect your domain to like the graphics of your website. So it's 2 different things. It gets pretty complicated pretty quickly. I'm not an IT expert. I don't know a ton about websites, but I manage my own website. And that's cool because I can make changes anytime. I don't have to pay somebody or wait for somebody else to make changes on my website. If you want, I'm sure you could hire somebody. I've seen prices starting at $750 and potentially going up to $3,000 for a website. So if you want to pay somebody, go for it. If you don't want to, you certainly don't have to. If you want some inspiration, go to my website, harrisburgbookkeeping.com. It's not a great website, but it's a website. It's a good starting point. Maybe look at other bookkeepers in your area, see what they have on their website, see what you like, see what you don't like about their website. Don't copy anybody's website word for word. That's not a good idea. But look at people's websites for inspiration if you want to make your own. Facebook. I already mentioned have a professional headshot, but also clean up your Facebook, because I use my personal Facebook page. Now, if you're not comfortable with that, that's okay. You have a couple options. You could use a business page. I have a business Facebook page, but I don't actually use my Facebook page, my business page, to promote my business, because from my experience, business pages on Facebook don't do super well. They don't do great with engagement. You can't send friend requests. I'm not a huge fan of business pages on Facebook. I use my personal page. And if you're uncomfortable with that, you could maybe start a new Facebook page, but I would encourage you, try to use your current Facebook page. And so for me, I tried to clean up my Facebook page. Like, I didn't want to have any unprofessional pictures or comments from the past. Like, if I had any pictures up of, like I said, me drinking at the bar with my buddies in college, I tried to clean up my Facebook to have a professional online presence. And I completely converted my personal Facebook page. Like if you go to my Facebook, check it out. It's all about business. My bio is all about business. There is no clear distinction between the owner of Harrisburg Bookkeeping and Zach Pasquarello. And that's how I've chosen to run my business. Like I put myself out there. If you want to do that, great. I think it's really going to help you grow your business quickly. If you want to remain a bit more anonymous, maybe you don't want to put your face out there. Maybe you don't want to convert your personal Facebook page. Maybe you have a job right now that you would not be able to start a bookkeeping business, so you don't want your boss or your coworkers to find out. That's okay. You certainly can start and grow a bookkeeping business without having a Facebook page, but it's going to help you grow so much faster and bigger if you have your personal Facebook page and completely devote your personal page to your business. I promise you, it's going to help you in the long run. And if you have any questions about that, check out my Facebook and see how I run my Facebook page. And then we have Google My Business. This is a great place for you to get reviews and to put your business locally on the map. So many people, I'm sure you included, go to Google to try to find someplace. If you're new to the area, you want to find a restaurant, where are you going? You're going to go to Google and you're going to look at reviews and you're going to find a restaurant that has more than 4.5 stars and more than 50 reviews, and you're going to go to that restaurant. Same thing if you're trying to find, I don't know, a person to fix your garage door or a person to fix your dog's invisible fence. Like, you're going to go to Google to find these people. And it doesn't take like a special kind of company to get on Google. Anybody with a business can get put on Google. You have to go through a verification process. It's changed over the years, but I strongly recommend get your business on Google My Business. That way, when people are looking for a bookkeeper, you show up on Google and you show up on Google Maps. Really, really good, really important. Last comment about this, be relatable and be trustworthy. So I already mentioned this before, but everybody needs a bookkeeper. Everybody needs a bookkeeper. Everybody needs somebody to do their bookkeeping, whether that's the business owner, in-house accountant, or in-house office manager, or an outsourced bookkeeper or accountant. It doesn't matter who, everybody needs somebody to do their bookkeeping. So your goal is to convince people to hire you as the bookkeeper. That's your whole goal. So you want to be relatable and you want to be trustworthy. And the best way to do that is just to be yourself. Be honest, be transparent, be genuine. If you try to create a fictional character, you might be able to do it for a couple weeks, a couple months. It's not going to last. You're not going to be able to maintain a fictional character on the internet. So just be yourself, be a normal person and be relatable and build genuine relationships with these people on the internet. Answer phone calls, respond to emails, engage with people on your social media, be relatable, be trustworthy. I promise you that's going to pay dividends in the future with growing your reputation. Number 5, to wrap it all up, build a portfolio or get some case studies. Now, this is some of the hardest things to do when you're just getting started. Quick coffee break. Getting experience when you have no experience is so hard. If you have a college degree in accounting or work experience as an accountant, this is a lot easier for you. But if you're anything like me, when I got started, I had no experience. I didn't even have a college degree in accounting. I had a college degree, but it was not in business, finance, economics, or accounting. My business degree was in psychology, totally unrelated to finance, accounting, and business, my college degree. So you need to build a portfolio. You need to get experience. You need to have references. You need experience. The best thing you can do, the easiest thing you can do, is become a QuickBooks Online certified pro advisor. This is free for anybody. It is a challenging test, challenging exam. I'm not going to give you tips right now on how to pass that exam. It is pretty challenging, but this certification will give you the confidence and it'll give you a talking point in your sales consultations. When you're brand new, if anybody asks you, do you have any experience? Are you qualified to be a bookkeeper? That question will probably come up. It did for me. You can confidently and honestly say, yes, I am a QuickBooks Online certified pro advisor. That's all you need to say. On top of that, I recommend try to get some experience. And it's going to start with friends and family. If you know any business owners, ask your friends and family if you can help them for free. Maybe it's just a 10-minute conversation. Maybe you're just maybe you're just answering questions. Maybe you're helping somebody with QuickBooks Online. Maybe your friend comes over and he brings his laptop and he's a business owner, and maybe you just look at his QuickBooks Online with him. Maybe you look at his accounts receivable or his accounts payable or his balance sheet or his profit and loss. Get some experience working with an actual business owner and start with friends and family and maybe offer it for free. I'm not necessarily saying you do somebody's full charge bookkeeping every month for free. You certainly could if you want, but maybe just a 30-minute conversation, help somebody for free, and then you can ask for a Google review. And you're also going to get some real-world experience. And then you can also tell people during your sales consultations, like, yes, I do have experience. I have helped a few or several or a couple. I have helped business owners with their bookkeeping. And then the last thing you can do is you can offer low-cost services. Now, I would certainly not do this now for myself, but I am 4 years into running my bookkeeping business. So I'm in a much different spot than you might be right now. I can confidently tell you, I did this 4 years ago in January of 2021. I took on a client and they were paying me $25 an hour. And I was thrilled. I was thrilled to get a client paying $25 an hour, because it gave me some real world experience. It gave me a solid reference. If anybody ever asked me if I had experience, I could say, yes, I have 4 bookkeeping clients right now. Boom, 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 here they are. You can email them. You can use them as a reference, whatever you want. And then finally, if you help friends or family, or if you offer your services at a low cost, ask for reviews. Get a Google My Business, ask for reviews, get your name on the map, start building your reputation, build some credibility. If you follow these 5 tips and tricks, I promise you, you're going to quickly start and grow your own bookkeeping business. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel. I'm sure you already know I'm posting new videos every week. My goal is to help you start and grow your own bookkeeping business.